Probably cop a script with Roxy. Probably cop. Probably cop a script with Roxy. Y'all be kinda sloppy. Got me dodging all these body bag 'em in the lobby. Dropping Adderall and alcohol and then the pop a fucking oxy.
Pumping iron day 116. Just got back from a trip, got a little tan going on, and it's arm day, and a little tired, and still gonna do arm day. So got to do tricep first, do the single arm extensions, finish it out with the overhead and the rope, and then biceps. Just do curls and bicep machine, and it should be a pretty normal arm day. Probably won't have too much energy, won't go too heavy, and might not do all 11 sets of each muscle group, but it is what it is. It should be a pretty fun day, and got to keep the series alive. I'm glad I get to lift today. Watch Super Bowl while I'm doing it, so it should be pretty fun. And I can talk. It shouldn't be too crowded. Hopefully the gym is not too packed, which usually on Sunday evenings it's probably not going to be, but you never know. Sometimes everyone wants to get the lift in before the week, or saving it up. I don't know. Usually Sundays are pretty empty, so that's pretty fun. And the arm day, best day, second best day behind chest day, but get some big arms, do some abs, and lift as long as I want. I don't think the gym closes till 11, or at least one of the gyms doesn't close till 11, and it's currently like 4:30, 4:45, maybe 5. Around then, I'm gonna drop the car off. I got my gym equipment, and should be good to go. But yeah, it was a fun trip. The diet may have not been the best, but that's usually how trips go. Not really eating the healthiest of foods, but one day won't kill you. It just might put you a step behind. So I'm just gonna have to work out pretty hard today, even on the lack of sleep, and I took a lot of caffeine, so I'm not taking any more. And but yeah, usually coming back from a trip, it's a good reset to lift weights, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything kind of just sets you in place. Same thing for if you're jet lagged, which counts as a trip, right? If you're jet lagged, the best way to get feeling better is to work out, and it's what I can attest to that. You just feel better. That's like, I said this a lot, like when you're sick and you go work out, you usually feel better afterwards. It's just because you got the pump, you got the blood flowing, the adrenaline, all the endorphins, everything is all these things to make you feel better. Dopamine release, feel good, look good, listen to music, go to eat food, kind of sets you up for a good day ahead, right? So it's honestly, it's like its own little, I wouldn't say drug, but exercise is its own little drug. And working out, just like hitting a little high on exercise, and it feels pretty good. Feels really good. It's just kind of hard to get there. Instead of just taking a pill or doing any of that, you have to lift a lot of weight a lot of times until you can't lift it anymore. And that's the big challenge with exercise and weightlifting, is it's hard. But it's hard. I think there's more incentive to do it, because anything that is usually hard, gives good rewards. And it's a challenge. Completing challenge is fulfilling. Any challenge, really. And that's why people do these crazy things. That's why people run marathons and do triathlons and powerlifting meets and bodybuilding shows. That's why people go to the moon, because it's hard, not because it's easy. And that's why they do a lot of things. Run for president, start their own business, go into a relationship. It's not easy, it's hard. But the hardest things have the best rewards. And, the act of getting to those rewards is the most rewarding part in itself, So, it's going to be hard, but you got to do it. And, see y'all in the gym. All right. Drop set 32.5. Ooh, it's heavy. Drop it. One. One more. Alright. Into the rope. 2 sets. And 2 or 3 sets of overhead. That should be good. Do some drop sets. Let's get it. Come on. Well, face a little tanner, but well, we still got it. We had a pretty bad diet, and not the healthiest of times at Las Vegas or wherever I was. Yeah, went to Vegas. Anyway, yeah. So, but it's still good to have the pump coming in. You can miss one day, you can miss 2 days, you can miss a week, you can miss a month. But I mean, it doesn't matter how long you miss. Actually, that's not true. It does, but it's not. It's more about how you come back after you miss a day or a week. I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. I could have not lifted today. I drove 5 hours, 4 hours back. I don't need to lift today. But, that's also what the series does. It keeps me accountable. So, glad to have that. But, it also just, just makes me want to do it, I really want to, lift every single day. And this series has definitely, made me appreciate that even more, So I was thinking I can't even remember what I used to do before I made these videos. I know I lifted every day, And I know I tried to copy, Sam Sulek's workout style for a little bit. But, filming these videos and, talking about, the whole process, it's really made me, kind of find what my style of lifting and working out and, what I really want to do with lifting, which is just be consistent and get stronger and get, bigger. And honestly, the whole point of the series is just that I lift every day, not necessarily, how heavy or, how strong I feel each day. It's more that I did it. And I'm trying my best, to lift, the most weight and get as strong as I can. But, these videos are more for me to prove to myself that I can, lift every day for 100 days or a year, 2 years. And, who knows where this will go. But, I say this a lot, but, the end goal is oftentimes not as rewarding as the process. When you think about it like that, then you got to realize that, you got to fall in love with the process. Because everyone likes the rewards, but not everyone likes how you get there. And I'm actually really happy. There's no one here. It's like a first. But yeah, people are going to come up with excuses why they shouldn't lift, why they shouldn't study or go to class or, practice for an interview or, call their brother or sister or something like that, will make excuses. And all excuses is you saying to yourself that you're not disciplined enough to do something. You're trying to make your mind less guilty of failing, because no one likes to fail. Your brain doesn't like to fail. You don't like to fail because it hurts when you fail. You don't feel good when you fail, right? So you come up with excuses. All excuses do is, hide that you failed. I didn't hit 315 because my shoulder hurt. Well, that's just hiding the fact that I failed my goal of hitting 315. I didn't get a A on the test because, my alarm clock didn't go off in time and the breakfast line was too long. Stuff like that. You still failed. You didn't get the grade you wanted. You didn't do what you wanted to do. You failed your goal. Sometimes there's reasons. But, the biggest and worst thing to do is to confuse an excuse and a reason. Yes, 99% of the time, what you think is a reason is just an excuse. And the moral of the story, we'll finish later. Well, the moral of the story is to not cheat yourself out of accomplishing your goals. And you have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that failure is just a part of getting there. And when you do that, every time you fail, you won't come up with an excuse. You will come up, with more of a desire to try again. And that desire to try again is what eventually will get you to your goals. And moral of the story, excuses shouldn't really be a thing. And if you rely on excuses to hide hide your failings. You gotta fix that. But I mean, I do that as well. I'll come up with excuses why I can't do some stuff. And ultimately, it always comes down that I really just don't want to. That's, you get your brain's pretty, cunning. It'll come up with these, like ideas, or, it'll stretch the truth a little bit. Say, oh, we don't have to lift today because I'm too sore. Well, doesn't matter. You can still lift, unless you're in a wheelchair or your arm's cut off. Those are reasons. But you're too sore. It's your mind just switching I don't want to I don't want to because of blah blah blah. And when you start getting into those habits of just relying on excuses, it's hard to break out of it. Then it's hard to be accountable, and it spirals down from there. So all you gotta do is every time you fail, you take complete responsibility. And that's about it. And failing's not a bad thing. Failing's a good thing. People always say that failure is good, but no one really, realizes it, or actually thinks it's true. They'll say, oh yeah, fail now, it's a stepping stone. Everyone has to fail. That's how you learn. That's true, but no one really believes it. Everyone hates to fail because everyone hates to fail. And it just happens. You can't avoid failure, but you can't avoid, taking a step back once you fail or blaming it on something else. You have the complete control of blaming yourself completely for your failures. And that, so it separates people from, great people that do great things. And it's a harsh truth, but it's pretty real. You gotta fail a lot of times, and it's gonna hurt a lot of times, not feel good. But I mean, like everything, the more you fail, the easier it gets, and the better you get at adapting to failure so it won't happen again. And, essentially, you went on a really long tangent from excuses, to failure and all this, broad terminology. But if I can sum it up in one sentence, it'd be, I guess I'll quote Nike on this one. Just do it. There's no reason not to. You only regret it if you don't. And if you fail, you'll get back up. So just do it. No questions asked. And that's about it. But anyway, back to lifting. Well, we've been lifting, but back to talking about lifting, I guess. Because I gotta find something to talk about. Because it's actually really fun to talk when there's no one here. I don't like talking in front of people, or at least talking to a camera. So, you kind of feel embarrassed. But there's nobody here. So I'll talk all the way. Because it's fun. Essentially, we're doing biceps. I think we've done 4 sets. Triceps was good. Get the pump real quick. Boom. That's just the tricep pump, really. Biceps not fully in yet, but there's only one way to get the pump in. And if I've learned from 115 days of pumping iron, you just gotta lift a lot of weight, a lot of times, and very intently, which means go to failure. Ooh, okay. Well, I don't know how many sets that was, so I'm gonna count and either do bicep machine or more sets.